Welcome back to Digital Fears, where we break down the biggest stories in entertainment, music, and celebrity legal drama. Today, we're unpacking the shocking and emotional day 9 of the federal trial against music mogul Sean Diddy Combs. The courtroom heard dramatic testimonies, explosive allegations, and a chilling confrontation that left jurors visibly stunned. We've got Kid Cudi's testimony, insider accounts of abuse, and Diddy's former staff detailing a workplace described as toxic and terrifying. Let's get into it. Before we dive into today's testimonies, let's set the stage. Sean Combs is facing federal charges involving sex trafficking, racketeering, and abuse. These allegations span over a decade and involve multiple accusers, including his former partner Cassie Ventura, who has become a central figure in this trial. The prosecution alleges that Diddy used his power and influence in the music industry to silence victims, facilitate trafficking, and engage in a pattern of intimidation. The defense argues that the relationships were consensual and claims the allegations are part of a coordinated smear campaign. Let's start with what everyone's talking about: Kid Cudi's testimony. The rapper took the stand to describe a disturbing chain of events allegedly tied to his brief romantic connection with Cassie. Back in 2011, Cudi was spending Christmas with Cassie at her family's home in Connecticut when he says he received a flurry of threatening texts from Diddy. Not long after, Cudi's house was broken into, and his dog was found locked in a bathroom. Though Diddy denied involvement at the time, Cudi always suspected otherwise. Then, in 2012, things escalated. Kid Cudi's Porsche was firebombed outside his home. He testified that he believed Diddy orchestrated the attack. In 2015, Diddy apologized to Cudi, though never explicitly confessed, and Cudi described the apology moment as surreal, saying, "He looked like a Marvel supervillain." Imagine someone confronting you about firebombing your car, and their only response is to apologize years later, without admitting guilt. That moment stunned the courtroom. Next, we heard from George Kaplan, a former executive assistant for Combs. Kaplan described Diddy's inner circle as a place ruled by fear. He testified that employees were subject to verbal threats, sudden outbursts, and emotional manipulation. The breaking point came when Kaplan witnessed Diddy physically assaulting Cassie in 2015 at a luxury Los Angeles hotel. Kaplan said he was so disturbed by what he saw that he quit his job that same night. His testimony backs up other claims of a long-standing pattern of violence and control. Adding to the gravity of the day, Mila Morales, a former makeup artist for Cassie, recounted a terrifying encounter during the 2010 Grammy Awards weekend. Morales said she awoke to the sound of Diddy screaming Cassie's name, storming through their Beverly Hills hotel suite. Moments later, Cassie appeared visibly shaken, with a bloody lip, a black eye, and bruises. Fearing for Cassie's safety, Morales took her to a friend's house and called a doctor. When advised to take Cassie to the hospital, Cassie refused, reportedly terrified of what Diddy might do if she went public. Morales admitted that fear of Diddy also prevented her from calling the police. The defense, for their part, is pushing back hard. They argue that the relationship between Cassie and Diddy was mutual and filled with complicated dynamics involving jealousy, drug use, and consensual sex. They claim these portrayals of abuse are exaggerated or outright false, and point to Cassie's continued involvement with Diddy for years after many of the alleged incidents as evidence of a different reality. But here's the critical question: was this about mutual chaos or coercion and control? The prosecution is painting a picture of a man who leveraged wealth, fame, and fear to manipulate those around him, while the defense insists this was a volatile but mutual lifestyle, one that Cassie and others chose to be part of. On social media, fans and the public are deeply divided. Some are standing by Diddy, pointing to a lack of hard evidence. Others believe the growing number of voices and consistency in their stories point to a very different truth. Looking ahead, more explosive testimonies are expected as the prosecution continues to build its case. Diddy has not taken the stand yet, and it's still unclear whether he will. If convicted, the potential consequences are severe, with multiple felony charges carrying decades in prison. This case could also redefine how the entertainment industry handles abuse allegations against powerful figures. This is just the beginning of a trial that could shake the music world to its core. Make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, and leave a comment. What do you make of today's testimonies? Do you believe Diddy's version of events, or are the witnesses too compelling to ignore? I'm Digital Fears, and this has been your deep dive into day 9 of the Diddy trial. Stay tuned. More is coming.